Hey everyone, Donter here. If you don't know who I am, I'm a Pokemon card YouTuber who's at this point trying to reach 800 subscribers. We're almost 10% of the way there. Hey, that's pretty good. 10% is almost 15%, which is almost 20%, which is almost 100% if you really think about it. Anyways, today on Pokemon News, we're going to be talking about the Wisdom of Sea and Sky, which is going to be the most recent Pokemon Pocket set that I just failed to really talk about. Up on the screen are going to be some cards illustrated by some new artists. So if you don't know what Pokemon Pocket is, it's a mobile game where it kind of reuses some older artworks and some newer artworks sprinkled in there to kind of create a new set that has like a little bit of this, a little bit of that in terms of new and old artworks. So I'm just going to try to pop up some of these like non-hollows and the hollows illustrated by more recent artists or just like some newer cards in the set. But in this video, we are only going to be talking about the 1-star rarity, which are going to be the like full art rare, illustration rare, whatever you want to call them rares. And then we're also going to be talking about the full arts. So we're going to be talking about the rainbow full arts, like the 2 stars. They look very, very nice in this set. And finally, we're going to be talking about, well, I guess we're not really going to be talking about the immersive cards because they are being removed from the game. So I don't really feel like the need to comment on them because they're going to be replaced eventually anyways. So we're just going to go through the 1-stars, and starting us off, we're going to have the Chikorita, illustrated by Kaysen, who's a very, very, like, more modern illustrator. This is a very, very beautiful illustration of Chikorita. By the way, if you don't know, I do mainly talk about artists, so this is why I like to analyze them like this. It's just kind of my thing, and if you're kind of into that as well, then I'm happy to have you. With a few cards to their name, Kaysen is making a name for themselves in the Pokemon TCG, very slowly but very surely, and this card is just a great looking illustration featuring the Pokemon itself in this little yellow chair. I love the sunlight kind of peeking through. You also have like the plants and the table with that little cloth on it. Just some really small details that add up to a very, very nice little set piece right here of the Pokemon just kind of chilling, and I respect that. Our next illustration is going to be the Blossom, illustrated by Yuka Tanaka. It kind of gives me almost like a Kyoko Umamoto kind of vibe to it, but it's really, really nice. I love the colors, like especially like the plants, like the flowers and such. I think they look really, really cute. And the Pokemon themselves, all smiling and, you know, waving their arms around. It's a very, very cute looking card with a very simplistic but effective vibe with that sunlight peeking down as well. Next is going to be the Heracross by Go-san. This is a punchy, punchy card. I really couldn't see how you hate this one. It's just Heracross carrying a giant boulder as it's flying along. I think that's a pretty great idea, executed pretty well here. Go-san has this really, really punchy art style with these very, very thick outlines. And if you're curious, I actually have talked about Go-san in my series where I talk about Pokemon artists. Little plug, little plug. I have talked about them before, and I think that their artwork is pretty fantastic. So, I don't know, maybe check that video out if you're curious to see more from them. Our next card is going to be the Cyndaquil, illustrated by Bucci. This is kind of a similar idea to what we have with the what's it called, Chikorita, where it's just the Pokemon kind of chilling in a home, but it's obviously a completely different home. We have a completely different aesthetic. I really love the cabinets, how they have like these excessive amount of hinges on them in the background. Very nice, like geometrical, like kind of square shaped. The Pokemon is just chilling, sitting on a little nice bench here. And you also have the teapot kind of brewing here with the open fire, which is very nicely kind of intertwined with the Pokemon's just being a fire type. I think it makes it like subtle and effective for sure. It's like just a world building, like storytelling kind of attribute. Next illustration is going to be the Magby, illustrated by Makuratami. Very, very, very cute card here. I love the soft use of colors. Like, usually you would expect a volcano to be, like, aggressive, like, volcanic and, like, eruptive and, you know, crazy. This card very much so strays away from that, almost giving the mountain itself, like the volcano itself, like kind of a lavender feel in terms of the color. The Pokemon itself, being a completely different shade of red, really stands out from that background, which is something that I appreciate. Those, like, incredible clouds in the back there, kind of creating the smoggy effect, which looks really, really great in practice. Our next illustration is going to be the Totodile by Ayako Ozaki. Very, very cute, obviously. The Pokemon just bounding around, smiling, jumping around in the puddles of water. I love all the details of all the teeny tiny rocks that you can see underneath the water. The way that the house's filtration system is just spewing out water here onto the Pokemon's head is a very cute idea. And I think that it works really well for the Pokemon, like as an illustration. It looks very cute. Next is going to be the Quillfish. This is a very, very cool looking card, illustrated by, well, it looks like we've got our hands on a completely brand new illustrator for the Pokemon TCG. Their name is June, apparently. I didn't know about this whatsoever. And I think that they make a pretty strong first impression with this card, kind of giving us like a very like papery papyrus kind of feel in terms of just like a very like faded out kind of colorway, which works really well for this Pokemon. I think it looks incredible, honestly. It's very, very interesting for a first illustration. Next is going to be the Octillery, illustrated by Ren, which is very surprising to see, honestly. I'm actually kind of surprised that Ren drew something so, like, punchy. Ren's cards are usually just very, very simple, beautiful looking illustrations. So it's really interesting to see them do something a little bit more dynamic, honestly. Like the way that the Mantine's expression is placed in the Pokemon itself, like Octillery with that, like, vigorous kind of, like, inky trail. Just something that you would never really see from Ren, honestly. Like, it's very, very surprising. Next, you're going to have the Delibird, illustrated by Mikayu. Again, kind of like a deviation from their typical style, I feel like. I've never seen them illustrate a Pokemon with eyes as like expressive as this. And the trees themselves are really nicely detailed. I think Mekayu's style is usually very like subdued, which is very interesting to see in like a card like this. Just the amount of expressiveness and like the crazy amounts of shading. It's very surprising. Next is going to be the Pichu by Komomi Ogata. It's very, very cute. I like it. I think that the way the Pichu is just like sleeping, chilling, is very nice with the little mouse holds, the little Arboliva, a little Lunatone, and a Ducklet, little plush all around it. I think it's very cute, and I think it's a very nice looking card. Next is going to be the Ampharos, illustrated by Whisker. This is a very, very beautiful illustration. It's got like kind of a simplistic vibe to it, but it's just very, very like longing. Like I love the way the Pokemon is not really the centerpiece of the card, the environment, like the stars, the shooting star. You have like the grass on the ground here, which is really, really nicely separated from the background to just create like this like very nice hilly kind of aesthetic that works really, really well for the illustration. I think it's just a very beautiful card done by Whisker. Next is going to be the Togepi by Terra. It really feels like Terra is getting a lot of love recently because they've gotten like 4 or 5 cards now, even though they just started in Journey Together, which is kind of surprising. But I'm not complaining. I think it's a very nice card. It's got a nice blue outline on the Pokemon. It's kind of just sitting front and center here, very symmetrical. It's got some nice like patterning, some nice design in the background, almost like a scratch paper aesthetic for like the actual main background there with like that faded blue. It's a nice looking, interesting card for sure. The Zatu by Masako Tomi. This is a very, very nice looking card. I really wish this card was real. I love Masako Tomi's illustrations a lot. That's something that you'll probably get to know about me, is that I just adore Masako Tomi's illustrations. Like, they are so stunning. I love their use of color. I love their use of just like the environment. I always think that the way that they introduce like and implement flowers, plants, and stuff like that into their cards is always just so masterfully done. So I'll always respect that. I think Masako Tomi has some really, really good looking cards. Next is going to be the Wobbuffet by Goto Minori. This is a very, very cute looking card. I love Goto Minori as well recently. Like, I think their cards have been like some of my more like I'm more interested in, I feel like, Goto Minori's cards than some other illustrators, even though they're such a recent artist, which is really cool. I actually adore their cards for that simplistic beauty that they really bring. And it's just Wobbuffet playing on a playground. I think that's a cute idea, and it's executed really well. Next is the Gligar by Hayaganosuke. It's a very, very nice looking card with the Pokemon flying around with some Murkrow and Honchkrow, and like the sunset aesthetic is very, very nice looking. I think that it's an interesting looking card, and I like it. Next is going to be the Spinarak by Aikita Saki. This is a very, very cool card. Again, I just really wish this card was real, honestly. Like, that's just about it. I think this card is incredibly done. Like, I think that I have no real complaints with it. The dark aesthetic is perfect. Like, those shading on the Pokemon is masterfully done. Like, I love the like dotty kind of aesthetic with the shading. I think that that's a fantastic idea. And I love how all the flowers and stuff like that are white in the card, kind of nicely bouncing off of the webbing of the Pokemon. I think that looks really, really good. Next is the Murkrow by Kamonabe. Again, this card is fantastic. Like, it's just so good. Like, I don't know. I wish I pulled it already in the game, but it's incredibly done. The background is kind of like this grayscale aesthetic, which is done masterfully. I really love how the Pokemon look in the card. Like, it's very, very distinct from the background, it's perfect. Like, it really is. Shadows, everything. It just looks so stunning, honestly. Next is going to be the Tyranitar by Saboteur. This is a very, very cool card too. Like, I feel like a lot of the cards in this set are the artist really, really trying out something new with their art style, which is something that I sincerely appreciate. This card is beautiful. Like, it's so, so cool. It's just the Pokemon kind of breaking these little chunks out of the floor in like these geometrical square shapes, which looks really, really interesting. Like, visually, it's just an interesting thing to witness. And I like the little Diglett on the side there. That's cute. And it's a very, very cool card. Next is going to be the Caesar by Dan Xiao. I love this card so much. It's so cool. Again, really, really wish I pulled it. I really like this card a lot, and I kind of want it. It's just such a great looking card. The way that the Pokemon can be seen, like, flinging its fist forward or its claw or whatever, as it's like lightning bolting around with its razor sharp speed, creating this like dusty cloud behind it is great. Like those rock formations in the back and the front look incredible. I like that. I just really love how the Pokemon is drawn here with the color as well. Like it's very, very standoutish from like the environment in the background. It's a great looking card. Next is going to be the Sentret by Sayano Misaki. I love the colors in this one. Like, it's really, really good. I think that it's interesting to look at. Like, I have no complaints about that at all. I love how the Pokemon are differentiated from the background, and the yellow is really, really nice to see as well. Like, I think that's just interesting. Next is the Hoot Hoot by Uninori. This is, again, I feel like a card that I feel like we wouldn't really see from them typically, which is definitely an interesting thing. Like, I always love it when artists try out something new. And it's just like, it looks really, really good. Like, just so much more detail than you would expect from an Uninori illustration. I love the, like, Rapidash painting in the background, or just, like, the portrait or whatever. You have a portrait of a trainer right next to his foot, and he's standing on his little perching station. It's very cute. And then next to a grandfather clock. It looks incredible. It looks really, really good. And then we have the Stantler, illustrated by a brand new artist, who's only done, like, a couple, like, I think they did, like, a random Arceus product. It's Noriaki Tanimura. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. It's a very, very interesting card. Kind of got like that ancient papyrus aesthetic that I was just talking about with the other new artists from this set. Because I know that Johto is very heavily associated with that kind of stuff, like the Japanese kind of aesthetic. So it works perfectly for it, and I think it's very nice. I love how the blue water is just like super, super vibrant. And I love those like cloud effects because they really do invoke that kind of ancient Japanese style. It looks great. Next is going to be the Smeargle by Minami Namitake. I think Minami Namitake is like the perfect illustrator to draw ink. Funnily enough, because their art style is just so like splotchy and so like crazy anyways, like it just works super well. The fact that the framing of us as the POV in the Pokemon card as is just, we're like the painting, right? And he's just painting on top of us. I think that's a great idea. And I really love how in the background there's actually paintings of Pokemon. Like, I don't know if you can really tell, but in the background on the left side, there's like a little canvas that looks like Flygon, but just very abstract. And on the right, I'm pretty sure that's Tyranitar. So it's just super cool to see. I think that it's a really great idea and it's executed perfectly. Next is going to be the Blissey by Natsumi Yoshida. Very cute, very simple. Like, I would say this is probably one of not my favorites in the set, but it's still very cute. Like, I don't mind it at all. I like the flowers. I like the Pokemon's expression. That's cute. We're going to be moving into the Rainbow 2 stars now, and there's some pretty great ones to talk about in this set. Starting us off with the Shuckle, illustrated by Yoshimi Miyoshi. It's a very, very interesting, cute-looking card of the Pokemon creating berry juice and delivering it through a keg. It's obviously some sort of service that you got going on here. I like how the trainers have different, like, outfits on that kind of have those holes that Shuckle have on it. I love the little sign on the left side, and I like how you've got like all the berries being sold at the stand. I think it's a great idea, executed really, really well. Next is going to be the Kingdra by Takumi Wada. This is a very, very cool looking card. A very, very like beautiful like whirlpool effect, and it's just a stunning card. Like, it looks just so like majestic, like very, very regal, and I think that that works perfectly for the Pokemon it's trying to portray. I really like it. Next is going to be the Lantern by Fujimoto Gold. Again, a very interesting departure from their typical art style, in my opinion, and I think that it does incredible for it. Like, this card is great. I love how the Pokemon is so isolated, shining its light, but you also have like the background with all those little different lights. Probably, I'm assuming that it means to like showcase different lanterns out into the different, like the distance and the abyss. So I think that's such a great idea, like, and it's executed perfectly. Next is the Espeon EX by Taira Akitsu. It is the Pokemon just kind of like jumping down, creating these like glass stained, effects as it's jumping or like hitting the ground, which is cool, I suppose. I do prefer some of the concepts from the other cards in the set, but Taira Akitsu is a very talented artist who I also did cover in the Pokemon Artist Review, if you are interested in that. But yeah, it's still a very nice looking card. Dawn Fan by Yuriko Akase is a very simple card, but it does definitely effectively portray that job of the Dawn Fan performing a job, right? It's carrying some stuff on its back, it's carrying a log in its trunk, and then you also have the little Phanpy on the side trying to do its part. You got the workers in the background too, obviously performing some sort of task. And I think that that's a very simple idea, but it works perfectly for the rainbow card. Like I think that those ideas, which are like palpable, interesting ideas of just like the Pokemon interacting with people in the real world, is just always a great idea. Next is going to be the Crobat EX by Shinji Kanda. This is a very, very interesting looking card. It has kind of that similar Shinji Kanda style, but it also doesn't in a weird way. Like the Pokemon itself definitely doesn't scream Shinji Kanda in my opinion, which isn't a bad thing. It's just very different. Like I feel like we don't really see cards from Shinji Kanda like this, and I feel like the background is kind of like this toxic, wavy effect, which is also something that I feel like we don't typically see from Shinji Kanda. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. Like I don't know. I feel like this is a very interesting looking card, and it's definitely an interesting and good way. I don't know. I said interesting like 5 times. Whatever. It's a good card. And then we also have the Umbreon EX by Akira Ogawa. It's a very, very cool card. I mean, I personally pulled it, so what can I say? It's really, really cool. I love the explosive effects, like this blue that's used all over it is great. I definitely prefer the Umbreon to the Espeon, even though I prefer Espeon as a Pokemon more than Umbreon. It's very, very cool. Like the effects used on this card are fantastic, and its face is very, very like simple and probably very like squishy. If I had to guess, like it's very cute, it's very simple, and it works well. Next is going to be Skarmory by Toriyufu. This is a very, very like cool card. It is just a Pokemon flying, and I feel like we get a lot of kind of these ideas of the Pokemon just doing like something like just a flying or just like walking or something. So it's not like the most original concept in the entire world. Not to say that it's bad though. The illustration itself is very beautiful. Obviously, the cliffs and stuff on the background are still very nice. Like I don't have any problems with those, I suppose. But yeah, overall, it's a decent illustration, I would say. I have no problems with it. And yeah, that just about wraps it up for all the cards in this new set. Obviously, I'm a little bit late to talking about this, but I still want to talk about it regardless because why not, right? Yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, then make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Trying to get me up to 800 subscribers would be great. As I said, we are just about 10% of the way there, which is almost 100%. And your support is greatly appreciated. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time.